Hey there, Goa fans. Mark DJ Solitaire here with episode 31 of Retro Goa Explorations, my series in which every episode I share one of the top tracks, in my opinion, from the 1990s Goa Trance psychedelic dance movement. Tracks that I remember from back then or which were produced at that time and maybe I encountered a little while later. Um, we are in the 95-96 quote unquote season. And this is a track, yet another one that I remember Cooney playing. It was the first time I remember hearing it at that autumn equinox party that took place in the Chichibu area outside of Tokyo, a couple of hours away on a forest, sort of on a mountain in the middle of a forest where there was this like spiral sort of walkway that led to this clearing in the woods. They had these camping cabins that were there, and just a central area that turned into this absolutely amazing dance floor. And an incredible night, an amazing morning. And it was in the morning when Cooney, at some point in his 10 or 12-hour set or whatever this turned into, played this phenomenal track by the Infinity Project, Alien Airport. This one, which then a month later, or actually just a few weeks later, got on this incredible tip CD, the Orange compilation, which has more green than orange. It's one of the three Infinity Project tracks that I know of that also featured man with no name, Martin Freeland, as a producer and creator, composer, together with Roger Ram and Graham Wood. The other ones were Super Booster, one of the first ones, and then Brain Baka, which came out, I believe it was a few months later on the Dragonfly second volume, Order Rodonata. But Alien Airport is it's a doozy, and I just remember, there was at this point it was getting later in the party. It was in the morning. Some folks like me were a little bit tired and was sort of off the dance floor and sort of on this a little bit of a slope looking off, while some people were still going off on the dance floor. And Cooney could really get that extraterrestrial carnival like atmosphere, as I've spoken to before. And this is exactly that kind of track where it just sounds like this carnival, that full on celebration, really wild, ecstatic kind of woohoo sort of thing, but with these harmonies and that just, I mean, it really is just like a carnival. And I absolutely love this track. It's a fairly, I mean, we could say simple. It's just the patterning with the notes works so deeply. There's a lot going on with the perfect fifth. So the D to the A. We've been talking about major and minor before. Fifths don't have major or minor. What would be a major fifth is actually called a perfect fifth, and if it goes down one step, it's a diminished fifth, not minor. So we've got that fifth that happens, and in the middle section, it modulates up to the fifth, and that becomes the primary key. So then all of a sudden, it's in the middle section is in A, and then it goes back to the D. And then there's a minor second that's going on in here as well. At least that's what my ears are telling me. But I'm pretty sure it's minor and not a major second. So it's got this really uplifting atmosphere with just that little touch of that sort of minor key. And holy moly, it is a doozy. One little insight on this one. In 2015, I played this at ZNA, and later that year I was in Tokyo, and Roger Ram was there for a party, and we had a little time talking together, and I mentioned that I had played this track, and he said, I absolutely love that track, but for some reason, I just never ended up playing it out. So he's like, I'm glad you did. But, that's just the way it can happen. And yeah, there's a lot to love in this track. And it's also, I think, a little bit of a short one. I'm just going to do a quick check here. It's 5 minutes, 40 seconds. That's not long. It's under 6 minutes is pretty short for a track. We've just recently had, some 8-minute and 10-minute tracks. 7 is kind of average, 7.5. So 5.5, right? 5:40 is a bit on the short side, but holy moly, this is jam-packed full of awesomeness. So why don't we give this one a listen? Alien Airport by the Infinity Project. So of course those alien voices and sort of airplane or vehicle sounding things. Isn't that beautiful melody? Or that little oscillation. And then, not quite a melody, if you know what I mean. Beautiful bouncing. Again, just that simple rhythmic pattern. Love that sound. Nice big kick. That's that fifth. That really optimistic, kind of uplifting feeling. Kick drops out, and those whooshy, sort of spacey sounds. Just notice how that interval just keeps playing. And you get this coming. Totally carnival-like, isn't it? And this little part that we look at here. I mean, this sounds like this kind of, I don't know, alien kind of trumpet or something like this. These sounds are really amazing. Jumps up. And then sort of that different voicing comes in for that interval. And here, just that upper frequency that gets filled in over there. And this break with this amazing sample.
We really want to know about the future.
Amazing sample. Now we've shifted right to the relative fifth. So this is in A instead of D. All these amazing sounds. We come back to our carnival sounds here. But that bass is just a simple one-note pattern. Just these simple, and this is what I was noting when I was at Hill. I was like, God, it's just these simple note relationships. And my friend's like, this is anything but simple. And he's right. We're kind of both right. Now we're back in D. It's simple but not. Listen to the slide. All this mayhem going on above. Well, there's this growly kind of, but still uplifting thing here. love again that kind of staccato, that detached articulation. Gives it that bounce. That interval between the fifth and the second, both being played out there. The track's already starting to unwind here. Voices, and then I mean, again, like I was there on the hilltop, looking at sort of this mayhem going on, where it really did look like this very colorful extraterrestrial carnival, and really timeless. So, that whole, do we really want to know about the future? Well, at that moment, not really. We were just really in the present. And just listening to the relationship between these notes, I was like, well, it's just these intervals. My friend's like, yeah, but listen to how wild it is. Listen how crazy it is. And it is, so it's amazing, right? The stuff is simple and it's complex. And certainly when you're hearing it in its glory and you're there, in the right state, in the right place, you've got a DJ who's, dropping at just the right time. You're in that beautiful setting. People are in all this colorful clothing. I mean, just amazing. So this is a great, morning track. I think, of course, it can be great at any time. It depends. I think at nighttime, I think we're at this state now where, nighttime, I don't know how people are with uplifting music. It used to be part of the equation, right? I think people have gone automatically like, nighttime is dark music. Of course, nowadays we hear lots of people playing dark music in the daytime too. But this is, I think, could definitely work at nighttime, but is brilliant in the morning. And primarily for me, it's that context of that near the end of a set or at this sort of peak time where there's, you've gone through that whole journey and you're in that celebratory, we're out of the other side of the tunnel and here to celebrate kind of vibe. Absolute masterpiece. Such a short but really sweet track by the Infinity Project, together with Man with No Name, but released as the Infinity Project. So I am going to sign off here and leave you with a complete track so that you can listen to again all those amazing notes and whooshes and samples and all kinds of delicious stuff. I'm Mark DJ Solitaire here, and I am going to let you hear now, fully uninterrupted, the Infinity Project's Alien Airport.
we really want to know about the future?